An emotional Josh Reynolds has officially retired from the NRL. The Bulldogs fan favourite returned to the club this year on a train and trial deal after a 5-year hiatus, but his dreams of a swan-song season have been cut short with the 34-year-old hanging up the boots to free up a spot for halfback Toby Sexton.
So I've decided to hang the boots up. It's so hard to think about footy not being a part of my life anymore. But yeah, it's time. It's yeah, it's time. This club means more than the game to me, to be honest. I honestly wouldn't be the person I was today if I didn't start here. To be carried off the ground by my teammates and the fans just swamping the field, it's special. And you know, I know it's a bit of a toss to say this, but and they chant my last name sometimes. Like, it's so special, man. All the boys cheer me up about it, but I honestly love it. Like, it means so much to me and to my family, mate. So this place will forever hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah, very emotional. Josh Reynolds there, retiring from the game of rugby league, and the Bulldogs so close to his heart. He was an emotional player. He definitely wore his heart in his sleeve. The Bulldogs fans love him. He's a fan favourite because every time he took the field for the Bulldogs, he put his heart and soul into it. So it's understandable, and I can understand why he got so emotional. He loves the Bulldogs. They've been so great to him. He made 2 grand finals there, and yeah, he's called it quits. But he's had an amazing career.
But that's the way he played. He squeezed so much out of the orange, and I used to love one of those players. You'd love to get in the trench with him because you know what you're going to get from Josh Reynolds every time you play. And you know, the marriage between he and the fans at Belmore were unbelievable. Like, I've watched a lot of great players play there, and I played at that, but I reckon he probably would go down as one of the fan favourites.
Yeah,
sure.
I think he punched above his weight as a footballer. Probably not the most skillful 5'8" that we've ever seen in rugby league, but just turned up every single week. Had a few disappointing years at West Tigers, paid a lot of money and didn't produce, then went to England, but came back and looked for a fairy tale. Didn't quite work out, but he can happily hang them up, and knowing he's contributed everything he possibly could to rugby league.
Oh, I think it's nice he gets to finish his career in a Bulldogs jersey. I think that's great for Josh because he meant so much to that footy club, and that you could see how much that footy club meant to him. So, nice moment on Saturday, I think it is.
Yeah, I think a lot of motivation for a lot of kids out there, you know, who's just not naturally gifted or talented, because he wasn't. He's had to work hard on his trade, and he's. He, as I said, he's just worked so hard that he's that reliable. Every week you knew exactly what you were going to get from him. Obviously, he got a bit tough, like you said, Buzz, at the back end of his career, but and he's a great bloke as well.
Fella, yeah, he's a good fella too.
The other thing, guys, we've got to give him credit for, was it 2014 we won the State of Origin, and Mal Meninga won, 8 straight? Yeah. And he was in with Trent Hodgkinson in the halves, and to deliver that trophy back here after, so it was great.
Taking nothing away from Josh, the Bulldogs, they did sign him to bring him over, and what did we think of that? I mean,
well, I think because of the DNA, and when you sign so many new players, I think he would have been great to have around training to know what it was like to be a Bulldog, because some clubs don't sort of have that, and I think Josh Reynolds would have come back to lead the way, and it's just a shame that his body can't hold up at that level.
There's also an argument that by signing someone like Josh, you're holding a kid out, a younger player ready, but you do.
They had enough kids, Braith. They didn't. Buzz. They didn't need more kids.
No, I'm not going to have an argument about it, but I'm just saying.
I think the idea of bringing him back was to help nurture some of the young kids that they had in that squad. The Uluwapis and those sort of guys.
You don't see that much. That shows how much he meant to the club.
Stephen Mortimer popularity, George Paponis.
And you know what, Buzz? They weren't holding anyone back.
No.
There was no. They brought him back because Flanagan probably wasn't doing the job they wanted. They wanted a bit of security there with an experienced player coming back. And I think, like you said, what he brought to not so much the team on the field but off it and the club.
Shows some of those players what it means to be a Bulldog as well, because some of them need to learn that based on what I've seen this year.